Welcome to the O&M Partners 6-Minute CEO. Very pleased today to have Rick Van Nieuwenhuis, who is the President, the Chief Executive Officer, and the Director of Contango ORE. Rick is here to discuss a press release announcing 3 significant corporate updates. Now here's Rick.
Yeah, so number one, the name change to Manh Choh for the project. This is a name that was selected by the Tetlin tribe after in a bunch of internal discussion among the Tetlin community. The name reflects the large lake that's referred to as the Tetlin Lake, but in the Athabascan language, it's referred to as Manh Choh. So it's a great project name. We like it. It identifies with the local community, and it certainly highlights the importance of the lake itself and to water that drains into the lake. And our whole development plan, of course, is none of the work we're doing will drain into the lake. So it's I think we have a good working relationship with the tribe, and I think the name reflects the importance of the lake, and we respect that. So that's number one. Number two was we completed a what's known as an SK 1300 resource report for our Peak Gold deposit, and this is under the new rules of the SEC, which are new guidelines that came on when Biden came on for mining companies and reporting reserves and resources. So it's equivalent to, if you will, the 43-101 that we've all known and been dealing with for many years under the Canadian Securities Act, but the U.S. had not yet adopted similar legislation until just recently here. So we're actually one of the first companies to produce an SK 1300 resource report and publish it through a press release, and so it took a bit of time, as being the first usually does in anything. But it's all the same numbers as before. There's literally no change. I think the one thing you might note is how resources are reported. Under the SEC guidelines, they actually want you to report your 30% of the tons and grade that of the deposit. So it's a bit awkward. I find it a bit awkward, but that's the way they want it reported. So we've reported on a 100% basis, and then we've reported on a 30% basis what the tons are at the same grade. But the resource report is identical to what Kinross has reported, and it's identical to what we had originally reported several years ago. Obviously, with the new drilling that we're doing now, we'll update that resource sometime in the latter part of the second half of this year. And I might as well just give you an update on the Manh Choh project itself. We just completed the infill drilling program on all the geotech and metallurgical work has been completed. It was a pretty substantial program, about 11,000 feet of drilling, and it's all infill or related to geotechnical work. We'll start the exploration drilling in later in June here, and the focus there will be drilling between the two pits. I think I've talked before that the fact that we have the Peak and North Peak ore body, and they dip in the opposite directions, and because of that, the way the orientation of the drilling was, there's a strip of land about 1 kilometer long and 300 meters wide that doesn't have very much drilling in it. I won't say it's zero, but it's not very much drilling. So that's a prime exploration target. It's low-hanging fruit. So we'll get that done starting June. We've got a meeting later this month with our joint venture partner to decide and prioritize what targets we're going to focus on in there. Like you say, pretty low-hanging fruit, but it's still a substantial area. And the hope is we can find some additional tons at similar grades that can be trucked to the Fort Knox mill. Shamrock is a project that we just staked. So State of Alaska mining claims. We staked about 368 claims covering about 53,000 acres. So it's a pretty big block of land. It's in what's known as the Richardson Mining District. It's a historic placer producing district. It's produced about 120,000 ounces of gold. A lot of spurious exploration over a very long period of time. So which translates into a lot of data collected over a long period of time. And hadn't really been consolidated until Northern Empire consolidated a good portion of the district, and they dropped the project earlier in the year, and so we decided to pick it up for just a minimal staking cost. It cost us about $30,000 to stake claims. So it's a real coup for us. I think the project's located right next to the Alaska Highway, and between the highway and the Alaska pipeline. So you have tremendously good access here. We'll have a program, probably a $250,000 program there this year, following up on previously identified soil anomalies and trench anomalies. Previous drill information has indicated good grades of gold, although preliminary. It's just early days, but yeah, I like the project, and again, the fact that it's right next to the road, it fits with our overall strategy of looking at things that are on the road system in Alaska, looking at things that we can develop quickly. Just to remind people that the real reason to take a look at Contango as an investment opportunity is the fact that we have very high quality project, very low execution risk because we're not building a tailings facility, we're not building a mill. We're going to truck the ore to the Fort Knox mill, which has been operating for 25 years. So all of that translates to a very low execution risk plan, low capital, and we've got a great partner in Kinross who've been operating in Alaska for 25 years with an impeccable record. So I think that pathway to production and to cash flow, and you just run the numbers at a 1750 gold price and a $750 all-in sustaining cost, which has been projected by Kinross. That's $1,000 margin per ounce, and with our low capital count, or sorry, low share count, that's $10 a share in free cash flow. So that's the real reason you want to take a look at investing in Contango. We've got lots of exploration upside. You've got a management team that knows Alaska very, very well. Had a lot of success at exploration up here, and we don't plan on stopping anytime soon. So I think that's the real reason you want to invest and take a look at Contango. Appreciate the questions and the opportunity to update investors and shareholders on our plans here for the summer.